In our last video we discussed the famous advice that writers should show rather than tell. But for some writers this well-meaning advice becomes an obsession. I've known writers who refuse to acknowledge any form of the verb to be. Writers who wake screaming in the night, ranting about thinking verbs, whatever those are. In extreme cases, some writers refuse to speak, except to quote Mark Twain. All they'll say is, "Don't say the old lady screamed. Bring her on and let her scream. Let her scream. Let her scream." It's a very sad business. Left untreated, show-don't-tell obsession can lead writers to write exclusively in dramatic scenes and ultimately to become bafflingly obscure and tedious. Who really wants to read "The automatic doors swished open and Jane's shoes squeaked on the methacrylic Acrylaflex flooring. Below the artificial light of the Maxos LED luminaries, the air chilled and fans whirred. She touched the cold plastic and pulled it from the giant chiller. As she turned towards the checkouts, a man said, 'Do we need orange juice?' But the woman at his side pushed her trolley forward in silence." When all we need to know is that Jane bought some milk from Tesco's. But even the most severe case of show-don't-tell obsession can be cured by remembering one simple rule. You don't have to worry about telling anything that's an objective, verifiable fact. It's a fact that Jane bought some milk. It's a fact that Tony was often late for work. It's a fact that I'm 28. Anything that's a fact, just tell us. The problem only arises when you tell us things that are subjective, things that are a matter of opinion. You may remember in an earlier video I was objecting to the use of the adjective beautiful to describe a view. And the trouble is that it's not an objective fact that any particular view is beautiful. So in that case you probably need to show us the facts of the view and hope we share your opinion that those facts are beautiful. At other times, it's fine to tell the reader something that isn't objective. For instance, we can't objectively know what a person is feeling, and yet often I'd sooner just be told that Bob was nervous than read some trite description of Bob shuffling in his chair and biting his fingernails or something like that. Even judgments of characters can sometimes be told to us without it being irritating. I enjoy Joyce Carol Oates' occasional direct descriptions of characters. For instance, he was reserved by nature, but genial and even gregarious when taken unaware. But a sentence such as that should probably give you pause for thought. The question of a man's geniality is not an objective fact, it's a matter of opinion, and normally we'd prefer to hear the facts of how that man behaves and decide for ourselves whether or not we think he's genial. But the main thing to remember from this video is that so long as you're dealing in objective, verifiable fact, just tell us those facts as clearly and as explicitly as possible. On her 31st birthday, minutes after buying a carton of milk, Jane was punched on the neck by a mugger. Is a much better way to start a story than to try to convey all that through describing a multitude of insignificant sensory details. I'd only object to that sentence if you told me that she was punched in the neck by an evil mugger. Evilness, of course, is a matter of opinion. Thanks for watching and good luck with your writing.